Hello everyone. Hope all of you are doing good. I'm not going for shopping, but the thought that I have today is we all know what an ATM card is, and we all know why we use it. So I have a bank account and I have a certain amount of money in my account, and as and when I need, I can use this ATM card. I need to put it in the ATM machine, put in a pin, or take it, and now we have Wi-Fi, Google Pay, and all the different ways of taking out money. So, as I was doing this once, the thought that came to my mind is that many a times people think of prayer as this ATM card and their words as the pin and God as this ATM machine. You put in the card and you get the money. But today, what I want to tell you is that it doesn't happen like that always. What if you have the card, that is your prayer, and you have your words, that is your pin, but in your account, so the ATM machine is like, God is an all powerful, almighty God who has got, the authority over all the entire world, the powers and principalities and everything. And He is like that ATM machine that has got all the money. So I go and fetch money. My brother would go, my husband would go. So everybody who has an ATM card, they will go and take money from that ATM machine. Yes. However, there is one problem here. What if I go and put this prayer pin into the ATM machine, but my account is empty? Are you getting my point? Even if you have this card, even if you have it activated, even if you have this pin, yet if you put it in a machine, which is like all the money is also filled, the bank has done their part. But if your account from where this money is drawn is empty, nothing will work out. What I want to tell you is that God is not an ATM machine. God is not a bank. God is and your prayer is not like an ATM card, and your words are not like an ATM pin. Of course, our God is a prayer answering God, but the basic thing is that your account needs to have that money. Your life has to have a relationship with Him. I know that there are people who come to faith in the beginning when they ask, whatever they ask, they get it. But then as they walk, what God is expecting from you and me is a relationship with Him. And that relationship is irrespective of what your background is, irrespective of what you have done, irrespective of any of those. What He is looking for is a relationship. What He is looking for is love in your heart. What He is looking for is desire, your desire for Him. But if your bank account is empty of this, how would you even feel like going and putting your, ATM card and taking out that whatever prayer request that you have? How will you get that? I hope you understand what I'm saying. You don't have a relationship with God. You don't want to pray. You don't want to read the word. You don't want to do anything. But why do you think that He is like an ATM machine that you can put it in and take what you want? No, it doesn't happen like that. It won't go too far. You need to have a relationship with Him. And today, something that I want to share is about a woman who was put down by the entire family. It's in First Samuel chapter 1. We have Hannah as a woman who was grief-stricken because she didn't have the capability of making children. Her womb was closed, and her husband's other wife had many children, and she was upset. Every time she will go back to God and she will cry, God, if only you give me a son, I will give him back to you. And she's been praying this over and over and over for years, but there has been no answer. But that didn't let her stop those prayers. What I want to tell you is that you have been praying. You have tasted Him once. And why you go back to Him every time is with the hope that He will hear you. Here is also a woman who was like that. But every time she went back to God, every time she prayed. And I just want to read this portion which says, as she kept on praying to the Lord, Eli observed her mouth. Hannah was praying in her heart, and her lips were moving, But her voice was not heard. Eli thought that she was drunk and said to her, "How long are you going to stay struck? Put away your wine." And she says, "Not so, my lord. I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine or beer. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. Do not take your servant for a wicked woman. I have been praying here out of my great anguish and grief." Eli answered, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked him." My dears, what I want to tell you is that here is a woman, she doesn't have anything, she has a husband who loves her. And her husband comes and says, "Am I not there for you?" But that pain, there would be people who would be coming and comforting you. But sometimes the pain that you go through, only you can understand. Nobody else can understand. Nobody else can heal you. And that is the time, just like Hannah prayed, she was crying out in the presence of the Lord. She could not blabber. She had the ATM card. The ATM card that she had was her tears. She was trying to put in the pin, but she could not speak. She was so grief-stricken that her voice was not coming out of her mouth. She didn't usually. She came to a point where she said, "God, I don't know what to pray. I want to obey you. I want to love you. I want to serve you. I want to have a life that pleases you. But when I look at my circumstances, Lord, when I look at things haywired falling here and there, Lord, I do not know how to pray. I do not know what to ask you. If I put one thing in place, other thing goes off. And then I put that thing in place, the other thing goes off." And she cries out to God and says, "God, I'm tired." She can't even utter a single word in prayer. The only thing that she could do was pour out her soul and tell God, "I need your help." She fell at his feet and said, "God, I need you." My dears, what I want to tell you is that I don't know your life situation, but you have been that woman or man who has been trying to put things in place in your family. You are trying to bring those pieces together. You are trying to bring your husband into God's perfect plan. You are trying to bring your children into God's behavior. You are trying to hold the family together, and many a times you see that you are not able to. You're looking for that one job that will give you freedom from debts. You're looking for that healing in your body. You are grief-stricken and you don't know how to pray. Today I want to urge you. Your prayer is your tears. The only thing that he wants is that you believe him. You believe him that he will work out a miracle in your life. He will give you a new beginning. Sometimes I just feel like, as a kid, I've seen a lot of movies, and in that movies, there would be there would be this hero who would be coming to save somebody who is in trouble. So we see that many times this person, the victim, would run to the hero or the main actor in role, and they will just hold them. They can't speak at that moment. They are so scared. They are trying to, run away from something. So in that fear, they will go and hug or hold that hero who would and would just expect some help. They cannot talk at the point. They are in that much of pain and fear. But that hero understands, and what he does is he would always take that victim away to another safe place and go ahead and fight. What I want to tell you is that sometimes our life is like that. I just want to urge you today, go to your Father in heaven, your maker, the maker of your household, the maker of your situation, the one who knows you inside out. Go to him and just hug him and tell him, "Abba, Father, I cannot handle this anymore. I cannot